Welcome back to Talk Virgin to Me. Today we're going to talk about the brilliant lady mermaiden Miami style. So there's 4 mermaidens. We're going to talk about the second one in the 4 series. Stay with us. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Virgin to Me. Today, we're going to talk about the brilliant lady Miami MerMaiden. I said that backwards, but whatever, we got there. She followed me. And it may look like we went on a Halloween sailing, but we didn't because today is actually Halloween. So, and please don't throw tomatoes at me for wearing a Disney Halloween shirt. As I was looking for a Halloween shirt, I literally was like, oh my God, all of my Halloween shirts are Disney. Do I not buy them anywhere else? Like, I don't understand. The other one I had Boo on it, and it was super cute. It had like not acorns. Oh, what is it? Candy corn. And then it said Disney World underneath it. And then the other one I had was in the shape of a Mickey, and it was like bats that glow in the dark. So truly, apparently, I only buy Halloween apparel at Disney. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Send me some Halloween shirts. I don't know. Jeez Louise. Anyway, so my apologies. Don't throw tomatoes at me. I still love Virgin more. Okay. All right. So what did we do last week? We went on an 8-night.
We did.
8.
It seemed long until we got to like the last 2 days, and I was like, wait a minute, it's almost over?
Yeah, I agree, because I think it went by fast. But here's the thing. Let's start out by saying that I wasn't wanting to go on this sailing ever. So just so you know, I really tried hard to get out of it. But BFF over here convinced me by telling me what?
Your favorite shipmate, you mean?
Yeah, my favorite shipmate. That is true. My favorite shipmate.
So I was convinced that...
You were convinced.
I was convinced that when we passed Necker Island, because we were going to Tortola, that we were going to have some sort of fanfare welcoming us past Necker Island. So I was like, we have to get on that sailing, because I just thought that would be cool. They've done it before, and figured they would do it again.
And then... we'll tell you what happens in a minute.
But
so that's what convinced me to go. She was like, come on, we have to go because we're going to have fireworks or something. Something's going to happen. We're going past Necker Island. It's the first one. You got to go. We got to go. So I was like, oh, fine. Twist my arm. I'll go. But then we actually bid for an upgrade because just because that's just what we do. And we bid for an upgrade, and we always keep an eye on the cabins available. Just kept going, why aren't they accepting our bid? I mean, when I tell you that I bid. There are some days that I'm like, let's go $1 over what the minimum bid is. But I straight up bid on this one because I knew that the dream team, which is whom I call the dream team, is up on Mega Rockstar. So I said to Kelly, I was like, we got to be on deck 15 because it's our last chance to be with the dream team. We knew that by the time we got back on Brilliant, everyone would be gone. And this was a true dream team, in my opinion. And so I was like, we've got to be on deck 15. So I bid to ensure that I was going to be on deck 15. Now, I couldn't figure out why I wasn't winning. I was like, what is happening? Nobody's allowing me to win this bid. What is happening? Nobody likes me at Virgin. I'm totally kidding. That's not how it works. It really is about what you bid. So Kelly and I were like, we're monitoring the inventory. We're like, oh, we're probably not going to get on deck 15 because the way that works, we were in a sea terrace, and technically we could only bid for a Gorgeous Suite. Well, all the Gorgeous Suites were sold out, and we were even keeping an eye on the accessible one, going, we want that one because that one usually stays open, and we're like, we're gonna nail that one. Well, there was 2 Fab Suites open, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need that, but we can't bid on it because they don't let you. They only let you go up to Gorgeous Suite. So all of a sudden I get this message like 3 days before. It was about 3 days before. I get an email from Virgin that was like, hey, so you didn't win your Gorgeous Suite bid. Oops, that cabin is snagged. But we're prepared to offer you the Fab Suite for $400 more. And I called Kelly, and it said, and here's the even crazier part. It said, if you accept this bid, it's yours. Just hit accept. Well, I didn't see it till the next morning because it goes to my personal email. And let's be honest, I don't check my personal email because everything is in my work email. So I was like, I was like, oh crap, I didn't see this, but it kept saying, so I thought it was interesting to offer that to somebody and say, basically, if you accept it, it's yours. But in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, what if they offered it to somebody else? So I was like panicked. And so I called Kelly, and Kelly's like, hit accept. So I was like, I'm like pounding on this accept button, right? And nothing's happened. And I get an email back and it basically says, thanks for your bid. And I was like, what do you mean, thanks for my bid? It said if I hit accept, I get it. I'm going to get it. And so it really said, thanks for your bid again. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So I took Kelly, I was like, that's it. We missed it. It's been almost 24. And it was like 12 hours or whatever. But I'm like, it's been about 12 hours. Somebody else got it. We're not going to be on deck 15. I mean, listen, there are worse things we could be doing, but we were devastated because we really wanted to be with the dream team. So I'm like, whatever. We'll see what happens. Literally like, what was it, later in the day probably? I see it come through on my AMX. I see the charge and I go, oh, ding, 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 ding. I knew it. So that's how I actually know that I win bids, because my AMX pings me immediately and tells me what gets charged. And I told Kelly, I was like, we won. I was like, but I don't know what. I'm assuming it's in the Fab Suite. So we didn't know what, where, who, when, and why. But then I immediately wrote my favorite rock star, mega rock star, roadie, Matthew. And I was like, hey, I'm moving up. I was like, you better make sure you're mine. And I was like, who do I have to fight to make sure that you're mine? And he writes back and he goes, oh, I knew you were moving last night. So somehow, because it did actually work, so it was quite funny, he showed me a screenshot of it and was like, here's you and Kelly on deck 15. There's our faces. And he's like, I knew you were coming last night. I go, oh, great. Thanks for telling me, because I was panicking all night or all day. So he goes, actually, we don't have to fight anyone. I'm yours. So I was super excited about that. So I told Kelly, because Kelly was you were in charge of the reservation, right? Mm-hmm. So Red Glove wrote her and I was like, don't bother asking for Matthew. We already have him. Ask for all the other things instead. So that's how our sailing started out. But originally we weren't going with anybody, but it turned out we had some really great friends in there. Aunt Laura, the legend, what I like to call her. You know what? I think we should have everyone sign like a thing that's okay that we talk about them, now that I'm starting to think about that.
Oh gosh, you're right.
We do talk about people. I mean, well, we're starting to. I'm starting to not hold back.
We won't use last names.
Yeah,
maybe that's better.
Last names. But this is Kelly's aunt. Not too hard to figure out. But
not the same last name.
Not the same. Yeah, very true. But we call her the legend, and I hope she's going to let me tell this story, because I feel like it's needed for the rest of this podcast. But because it will prep you for what's coming next. So Kelly and I go on the very first sailing of Virgin out of the U.S., and we both did not have shipmates, but we both had sea terrors. I'm sorry. Seriously, sweets.
Yeah.
And we were looking for people to go with us. Now, just so you know, this is like super COVID. Like some people were just getting let out of their houses at this point. Like, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but that's what it felt like. So some people were like, hell no, we won't go on a cruise. So it was very hard for us to find shipmates.
Yeah.
But you asked Aunt Laura.
Yep. Who was still just Aunt Laura at the time.
Who did not earn her name yet, her nickname. So you asked Aunt Laura. I had nobody in my suite. So that's a lot of trouble when I'm in a suite by myself. It's good times, but it's a lot of trouble. So, but I think Kelly had a lot of trouble. So, because Aunt Laura is a hoot, okay? So, and this was your first time traveling with Aunt Laura.
First time sharing a cabin, yes.
Okay. So the legend got her name because... well, we won't tell the one story, but we'll tell the good one, the reason why, the one we tell everybody else. So Aunt Laura likes to she likes to partake in alcohol and gamble. It's a great combination. It's excellent.
She likes to close the casino, not just gamble.
She straight up
They're like, Laura, it's time to go. We're closed.
I remember the first sailing, they kicked us out of that one because I was like, oh my God, we're so bad. So anyways, Aunt Laura makes for a good combination of people. She is definitely into gambling and alcohol. So anyways, she comes home. Kelly's out. We don't know. Kelly, do you even know what time she came home that night?
No.
It was probably 3. I think she was not as bad as she is now. I'm going to be honest. She's gotten a little worse in her old age, Aunt Laura. She's gotten worse than she used to be. But I think she came home at like 3 a.m. Anyways, Kelly's out. She comes home, she's feeling no pain. And so Kelly and I get up to go to the wake for brunch the next day because we're super excited about brunch and we've never done it before. We're going to brunch. Yeah. So you didn't. Okay, so you tell this part. Was she awake? She wasn't.
She was not awake. I did wake her up and say, Laura, we have brunch reservations at 10 a.m., whatever time it was, and I'm leaving. I mean, I got up and showered. She didn't move. I just kind of nudged her and said, "This is what we're doing. This is what time we need to be there, and I'm leaving the room. You come, you don't. You're a grown adult. I'm going."
So Kelly and I are at the table and we're at the wake. And if you know the wake, obviously it has this gorgeous staircase, much like, I hate to even say it, much like the Titanic, but it's not. The Titanic went both ways, but it's still a gorgeous staircase. And that's what makes me think of it. So anyways, we're both sitting at the table. I think the clam chowder had just arrived or whatever. And, I'm like, and she's like, "Do you think she's going to come?" We're like, "Is she going to come? We don't know if she's going to come. We don't know if Aunt Laura's going to come." All of a sudden she goes, "Oh, there she is." And there she is, just sauntering down the beautiful staircase. And I go, "What's that in her hand?" And Kelly's like, "I think it's a glass of wine." I go, "Where the hell did she get a glass of wine so early in the morning?" And Kelly goes, "Oh, that's from her nightstand." So literally Aunt Laura went to bed with a glass of wine, put it on her nightstand, and then like Sleeping Beauty woke up and decided, "Well, that one's still good. I'll just take it with me to breakfast." So down the stairs she went, sauntering down the stairs like Aunt Laura should, with her glass of wine from last night. We were howling. And from then on in, she has been known as the legend, because I don't know many people that would put down a glass of alcohol the night before and then pick it back up right where you left off the next morning.
Right? Especially white wine. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody said the other day, they were like, "That's a warm glass of white wine."
Yeah.
She had. And it was white wine. So I do remember that. But oh my goodness, we laughed so hard. So she's been known as a legend ever since then because she cracks me up. And I mean, that was hysterical. So fast forward to, we gave you the legend story. Now you're going to hear the second legend story in a few seconds. But anyways, we sailed with her, we sailed with Erin, and we sailed with Margot and a bunch of other people, I will say. But these were the ones that we were very close sailing with and hung out the most with, which we had a really, really good time. So that was very, very nice. Yeah. So where was I going? They're just getting on board, I guess. So we're getting on board and we got there early. Oh, because here's the other thing that we did. And I probably shouldn't tell you because I don't want you to know my trick, because this is how also I get upgraded a lot. Because for those of you that think that Kelly and I don't pay for our upgrades and they just give them to us because we're cool like that, we are so not cool like that, and we pay for all of our upgrades. I just want to point that out. So this is the other thing. Kelly was like, "We don't have an upgrade and we want to be on deck 15. So when we bought our train tickets, we bought them uber early. Like when I tell you, like we were the first train, well, maybe the second train out. Well, maybe the third. It doesn't matter. 7 a.m. train out, which gets you into Miami at 10:30, which honestly, I don't know what you're doing in Miami at 10:30 because you can't get on the ship till 1:30. So Kelly's like, "What are we going to do?" Well, we had a plan to do something, but I still don't understand why we stuck around, I think. We ended up sticking around because it turned out we talked to people. We know everybody there. So we're just chatting with people. But the plan was to go there early and pay for an upgrade and get in deck 15 because we knew that the Fab Suites were open. But that plan got thwarted by winning the upgrade. So anywho, we get there early. We see Aunt Laura. Then we see Erin. So we're having a good time. I never posted that picture that we took jumping.
Oh,
I know I should have. We'll have to post it. And then they let us upstairs early because no one was on the ship. So we got to go upstairs and hang out early, and we saw some rehearsals for things because they were actually Virgin headquarters was having a party at the terminal after we left, and they had invited families and kiddos so that they could see the ship sail away and see the terminal because, of course, no kiddos have ever seen it. So kiddos were allowed to come and hang out at that party, which I think was really cute. But they did have a performance that they were practicing, so we kind of got to see that, which was cool. So we sat there for a while. Then Matthew came out and greeted us. We gave him big old hugs, and then we got to get on board. What happened after that? I don't even know.
Well, we did learn.
Ooh, what did we learn?
We learned that Sir Richard Branson was sticking around.
We did learn that while we were in the terminal.
He came for an event the night before because they did have First Mates, a preview for First Mates the day before because the ship came into Miami and it stayed overnight with no one on it, which is why she said no one was on board.
Stayed over 2 nights with no one on it, yeah.
And so Mr. Richard Branson was on board and he decided to stay, and we didn't know he was sailing.
Yeah, we didn't know he was sailing because he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, so that was really cool to learn that he was going to be on board. And we figured he'd probably get off in Tortola because
that's where he
lives over there. So yeah.
So he rode home with us. So that was kind of cool. We did learn that, which then meant that our favorite roadie, was preoccupied with Sir Richie. Sir Richie, I love when you're on board, but don't take my roadie. I love him, and he doesn't pay as much attention to me when you're on board. So all I kept saying to Maddie was, I was like, Maddie, when's he leaving? Isn't it time for him to go yet? But honestly, please know that Matthew was phenomenal to us. So like, I just like to give him a hard time. He was really, really great to us. But I also think that not because we're a handful, but because he dealt with Sir Richie and his full side of the ship, because Sir Richie was on the opposite side that we were on, and he dealt with his full side, that he was probably a little tired than he normally is. He probably was ready for Sir Richie to go because he was running like a chicken with his head cut off. So, but it was super fun. I mean, and Matt was so great as usual. Matthew was so great as usual. So that's where we learned that he was sailing. We were super excited about that. And then we also heard that he was madly in love with Red Hot. And the reason why he was sailing, and you didn't say this, right? The reason why? So the reason why he was sailing was him and Joan, his wife, were on board to see the show the night before. And Joan was the one that actually fell in love with it and wanted to see it again. So that was intriguing to me, and that made me go, wow, she really liked it that much. Interesting. Now, Red Hot was a brand new show that didn't open up when the Brilliant Lady actually had her True Mermaiden out of New York City. So it was a show that they kept and held back to release from Miami to give it another special little twist. Delight, I guess I should say. So to hear that she loved it was really interesting. Now, when I had heard about Red Hot, I was kind of like, how the hell are you going to make that show interesting? I really was. Like, I was like, that sounds dumb. I mean, it's not about my life. So, of course, it was about my life. You know, it'd be interesting. I'm kidding. I'm kidding in the sense of, if it's me looking at it, of course, it's going to be interesting. But I don't expect other people to watch it and be like, oh, that's really interesting. So when I heard that they were making a show about it, I was like, how do you make a show about that? So basically what it is, it's truly a show about Richard Branson and the evolution of Virgin. All of the Virgins, excuse my language, but that's really what it is. All of the Virgin entities and brands. So it was really, really interesting. And so I thought that was funny that she really, really liked that. But once I saw it, I'm going to be honest with you, I was like, okay, of course, that's why she liked it. Mm-hmm. They did a phenomenal job. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but it was freaking amazing. So we get on board. We know he's on board. But we don't hear from him. Nothing happens, right? We don't see him.
No, so we saw Nirmal.
We saw Nirmal.
He did come. He was in the terminal and walked us on the ship, which was
he did. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. How did I forgot about that? I don't know. Oh my gosh, well, he walked us on. He was telling us about Red Hot, and he's like, I really like the dance moves in Red Hot. And he starts doing Janet Jackson dance moves, and I'm howling because that's one of my favorite numbers. So I knew by what he was doing what actual song it was. He didn't tell me the song, but I knew exactly by the dance moves. So he might not have been too bad. But I kind of understand what he's doing.
I think he's still waiting for a video of you actually dancing so he can see how close he was.
I filmed it on purpose so I could send it to him. So he's like, Samantha, you need to go learn these dance moves. And then what did he say? He kept saying, Samantha, you're going to learn these dance moves. And I want to see if you can do them. I go, I can do them because I already know what dance number you're doing right now. And so I was laughing at him so bad. Did I get a video of him doing it?
I don't think so.
I got to look back because I feel like I was filming it, but oh my gosh, it was so funny. So we get on board and then he runs ahead because we've always had this thing that when Kelly and I board that he's like, I want to greet Fabulous Adventures Travel because he did it a couple times. And so then he hasn't done it in a while because, I mean, listen, it's not his job to come greet me. But we do love that when he does. So he ran ahead and then he turns around and he's like, Fabulous Adventures Travel. It was really cute.
We have a great picture of him doing that.
Yeah, it was really cute. And then he was telling us like, a bunch of stuff. And then we took a really nice picture with him. We booked some spa things and then we headed up to our cabin. We did not stop in the Rockstar area. That place is always full. It's got to be jammed in Scarlet though because of all the new added series of suites.
You're right.
It's got to be jammed.
Yeah.
And what's so funny? I just started thinking totally random. I'm not even talking about this anymore, but I am talking about Virgin, so hang in there. You know what I thought about? Because we're going on Scarlet a lot next year. I was like, oh, the Lock It In Rockstars is probably going to get Series. They normally get Series Suite.
Right.
But so going back to bidding again and Lock It In Rockstar, we met. So Kelly and I are in the Fab Suite. The Fab Suite is the second largest suite in mega. The largest obviously being the massive, right? Appropriately named. So we met Fritz, whom we loved. Fritz was our next door neighbor. He was hilarious. And so we were talking to him, and he had done a lock it in rate. And so a lock it in mega rock star. And he's like, I was like, how'd you get in massive? He goes, that's what they gave me. And we were like, literally, I think we spit out our drinks and dropped what we were carrying at that point. We were like, wait, what? You got a massive suite by doing the lock it in rock star or mega rock star? He goes, yeah. I never heard of it. No. Comment below if you've done it, if that's happened to you, because you're like, you should go play the lottery. That's like 1 in a million.
And we knew that both of the Fab Suites were still open because
and it wasn't just
won that before we did.
Yeah, which is so weird.
Yeah.
So like he got that massive before they gave away, before they sold the Fab and the Posh. I swear there was a Posh too.
There was.
At one point.
There was.
So yeah, it was really interesting. Because we said, when did they give you that massive? He goes, oh, they gave me the massive. What did he say? Like 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So he got it, and it was crazy. I thought that was nuts. Cool for him though. And he was a cool dude. He was so freaking funny. He'd hang over the side and like hang out and talk to us. And he's like, what are you guys doing? We're like, hey, Mr. Rogers, what's up?
We're getting ready for dinner. What are you doing?
He's like, I've had a few drinks. Good for you, buddy. He was great. And then he was so cute because he'd go, do you want to come over for drinks? I'm like, Fritz, we got the same bar next door. Like, we should just open our thing. He was so funny. You'll hear when we meet him, when we actually meet him, was on a excursion. So we didn't actually meet him until then, that point. So anyways, we do all this. Aunt Laura comes up. The legend comes up with us. She drops her bags in our cabin. And as the first day always is, we all go hard. Okay. There is not an ounce of liquor to be had anywhere. I mean, we have drank it all and seen it all. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but that's what it feels like is happening. We ate at EV that night. Had a great meal at EV. It actually was really, really good. And we went and saw the comedian that was on board with us, and the MerMaiden was phenomenal. He was so, so good. So we did that, and then we did not make it to the PJ party because one of us may have ended up in the curtains, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. So we did not end up in the PJ party, but this is where we lose the legend, okay? So we tell the legend that we're going to come back down for PJ party and pick her up and go. Apparently, this is what we told her. I don't remember saying
Pick her up in
that.
the casino.
In the casino. This is her story part, by the way. She says that we said the story. I don't remember saying that, but anyways, doesn't matter. We didn't end up at the PJ party, so there's that. So neither did the legend because she stayed in the casino. So fast forward to the next morning, we had brunch at Razzle Dazzle. So Razzle Dazzle's actually Rojo by night, but Razzle Dazzle during the day. So we had lunch at brunch at Razzle Dazzle. And so Kelly's like, we gotta hurry up. We got brunch. We gotta go. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, does everyone know? She's like, well, I haven't heard from Laura, Aunt Laura. And, Margot's going. We're gonna be there. Cause I'm like, okay, great. Well, we go down. We make it down there, and the two of them are already sitting there. And they're laughing. And we're like, what's so funny? And Margot looks up and she's like, the legend has got a story for you. And we're like, oh boy. We're like, hopefully she won at the casino. I mean, this is literally what we're thinking. We're like, hopefully the legend won at the casino. Nope, that's not what it is, my friends. So the legend wakes up and she's like, let me look at my phone. She's like, phone's dead. Because she left her bags in our cabin the night before and that had her charger in there. So phone's dead. And she's like, well, I don't know what time breakfast is because she can't get on her app, right? And she can't text us. So she's like, well, I'll pick up the phone. So for those of you that don't know, there is a real regular phone in the cabins and you can dial cabin to cabin. So she figures out how to do so. I don't think I've ever dialed cabin to cabin.
I have not either.
But I do know that it exists. So you can dial cabin to cabin. And she goes, I'm going to dial. And she dials... I don't know how she remembers our cabin number to begin with. I have to be honest. She dials 15331Z. And so she dials the cabin number and the person on the phone goes, hello? And she goes, Sam? And the person goes, yeah. Or yes, whatever she said. And so she launches into this long story about how she left her bag. She can't charge her phone. She doesn't know what time breakfast is. She doesn't know where to go. Can she come up to get her bag and blah, 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 blah. And the woman finally says to her, well, I don't know, dear. Richard's already at breakfast in the galley. And so she goes, and she thought that it was me playing a trick on her when I answered the phone saying, hello. She thought that it was me. So that's why she said Sam. And then when Joan actually answered yes, she was like, oh, okay, well, I'll keep going. So she launched into this long story. And so then she had to explain to Joan how she was looking for Sam and Kelly, her friends, Sam and Kelly, because she left the bag and she didn't know what time dinner was. And she was oh so very sorry. And then she'd talk to her later.
The legend continues.
And so the legend continues. She called Richard Branson's cabin. Like, what? I have no words. And poor Joan answers the phone. Oh my gosh. So we end up telling this story to Matthew, and he is just beside himself laughing so hard. And he's like, I'm telling everybody. He's like, the whole ship is going to know this story by the end of the day. So we were laughing so hard. And the legend, she's such a hoot. She's very good natured. I absolutely love Aunt Laura. She's one of my favorite people. Uber good natured. She was laughing away like it was the funniest thing on the planet. And it really was. I mean, let's be honest. It was the funniest thing on the planet. She called Sir Richard's cabin looking for Sam and Kelly. It doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. So then we hear the story and we're howling. We have a very nice brunch. It was a day at sea. What the heck did we do? Oh, we did. Oh, that was serial. No, that wasn't serial killers. The next day was serial killers. Goodness gracious. I had a massage, I think, and got my hair did or something. I don't know. We sea dated. I got to be honest. We didn't do much because we had already done all the things on the MerMaiden. So
and the crossing. Because we had like 18 days on Brilliant Lady. So this time we were like, yeah, we're only going to do the things we didn't get to do.
Yeah. And the one thing I really wanted to do wasn't there.
I know. I don't know why that didn't make it.
I don't either.
We'll have to
It was very depressing. So all hands on deck, which I don't think it's called all. I think it's just called hands on deck now that I say it out loud, was not there. So I was pretty bummed about that. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that was a cool one. I really enjoyed that one. I don't know why.
Me too, because I really want to do it, knowing that we
8 nights, they should have.
I agree. And I asked Eddie about that, and he was like, I don't know, I'll keep you posted if it comes up. I was like, okay, good, because I want to be in it.
We need to put that in our surveys.
Yeah, put it in your survey. So yeah, so that was our legend story. We really sea dayed for real. Like everyone just kind of chilled and did a few things here and there. And then what else did we do?
We had 4 sea days on
We
this
did have
sailing.
4 sea days. It was very odd, I have to be honest, but
It's
worked
a
out.
lot. It's a lot of days at sea.
Yeah.
And it was rough.
You're right.
Sailing.
We had a very rough sailing. Very rough sailing.
Because there were hurricanes out there, and
it was freaking mass chaos out there.
yeah, we had a rough. So we did hang out in our cabin a lot, which was nice to have a bigger cabin and not be stuck in a sea terrace for 8 nights when it was rocky.
That was very nice to have that. But that cabin was so loud. That thing creaked and moaned and popped and snapped and cracked and anything you can possibly think of, it did. Ooh, and we had a ghost. If you have ever wanted to join us for a Girls Gone Cruising, please come join us next
October 3rd through the 8th, 2026.
because we are going to
Grand Turk and Bimini.
woohoo! So join us next year because we would love to have you there. We will be in the massive suite again, so you'll get to hang out in there and have a little not basic bevy, but a bevy of your choice. And come join us so that we can party together. We'll see you then. So listen to this. So I'm laying there with Kelly and I'm facing Kelly. So I sleep on the left side of the bed. And so I'm facing in and I hear, and I was like, did Maddie come in here? I was like, he doesn't come in usually in the morning like this. And then I feel something brush down my leg on top of the comforter. And I was like, what the heck? Well, sometimes I'll leave my bathrobe up there and I don't remember if I was wearing it or not. Sometimes I go to bed in it, but I leave like my clothes like right at the bed. So it could have, so I'm like, in my head, I was like, was that the clothes? But then I hear, I think, more footsteps, and I literally flip around like I'm going to attack somebody that's standing behind me. Like I'm like on guard, like ready to take people down. Not a soul is there. And Kelly was like, you said you heard it too.
I did. I heard it.
So I was
heard
like,
footsteps. I thought someone was in our room.
yeah. And so I go, Kelly, something just touched me. And so I looked on the floor. There were no clothes on the floor. And something touched my leg and like brushed down the side of my leg. The only like logical explanation for that, like I said, would have been if clothes had fallen on the floor. There was not an ounce of clothes on the floor. Nothing had fallen on the floor. And I was like, what the heck is this? So Matthew comes to bring us our breakfast like he does every morning. He's such a great roadie. He'll bring us breakfast. He brings us hot chocolate. He brings Kelly Bloody Marys when she needs them. Like he brings whatever you want, right? And he always is like, he comes in, he's quiet. He'll just come in. But he can't. So he said on the Brilliant Lady, they made it so that they can't come in if the Do Not Disturb is on. Like there's no way, no how they can get in. I mean, I'm sure someone can get in, but their little bloop bloop does not work. So we had it on Do Not Disturb and lock. So there was no way he came in. Well, it doesn't matter. I turned around, nobody's there. So we both looked and there was nobody there. It was the craziest thing. So he comes in, brings us breakfast. And I say to him, Matthew, I think we have a ghost. And I'm dead serious. Like, because I'm also like, but at the same time, I'm like, how the hell did we get a ghost on here? Like, what? The ship's brand new. Like, what? How did it get here? So he goes, oh my God. And he totally confirms. He's like, yes, there is deck 15, totally a ghost. And I was like, come on. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. He goes, when I'm in the massive suite, I hear people talking. He goes, one time I ran out of it thinking that I walked in and on people. He goes, and there was no one in there. He goes, it took me, he goes, when I was outside in the thing, I then see the actual people going to the cabin. He goes, and I was like, wait, I thought you were. So he goes, and that's not the only thing. He told us, what else did he tell us happened? It was mostly talking.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was mostly talking. And then apparently he scared Roxy so much that Roxy, she left the night shift and went downstairs to her cabin because she was like, there's a ghost. And she left the night shift and went down to her cabin. So, I mean, she didn't leave it, but she was resting down there to, you know, till someone called her and she'd go up there and get what she needed. She was like, I'm not sitting up here alone. I don't blame her. I'm telling you, there was a ghost. Hands down, ghost. And there was a couple of other things that happened too that we were like, that's odd. Super odd. But again, I don't know. I always thought that ghosts, the reason why they come in is because, you know, they passed where they were. But I don't know. Maybe somebody brought it in. Who knows? They brought their ghost and left it. The ghost's like, oh, it's a nice deck 15. It's pretty cool. I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to hang out in deck 15. This is better than where my other guy's been taking me. So they're But the other thing that I thought of, you're going to laugh and totally think this is crazy, but I don't really care. We sailed over the Titanic.
We did.
Maybe they went up and we're like, oh, we're going to attach ourselves to another boat.
I didn't think about that.
Seriously. And someone had said, because we were giggling about it because when we went by the Titanic, someone had said, Lindsay had said this. She was like, we should have gave it an offering. She was like, because right after the Titanic, I think was when, or maybe it was during that, I don't know. We were like uber rocky. And so Lindsay was like, we should have given it some champagne. I was like, we 100% should have thrown some champagne down there and been like, toasting to you. We still love you. Anyways, that's what I think happened. It went bloop, 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 bloop. Attach itself to another ship. So we had a ghost. So that was interesting. All right, keep going. Sorry. We did serial killers. That was new.
That was cool. I enjoyed it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
If you're on board, do serial killers. It doesn't take a lot of people. It's like 20 people.
20.
Yeah.
I think it's a one and done for me. I don't think I need to do it
100%.
again because, first of all, I don't want to give too much away because I didn't know anything about it going into it. So I think that part was cool that you don't know what you're doing until you're there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give too much away. But I think once you do it once, you don't necessarily have to do it again.
No, I agree with that.
But the cool thing is you get to literally eat cereal like Rice Krispies or cornflakes or there were a couple options. And then they have different flavors of milk. I had strawberry milk and
Did you?
And
I
Rice
should have
Krispies.
Done that. I had Special K. That's what I had.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Special K.
I love Special K.
I don't
too.
eat cereal at all just because I just never really liked it.
We don't even buy it in our house. My kids don't either.
I don't buy it anymore. But I don't eat cereal. But it was nice to have.
Yeah. So they had different flavors, milk, strawberry milk, chocolate milk, almond milk, regular milk.
Yeah, they had all the milks.
And if you wanted to keep getting up and get more cereal, you could. I don't think anyone really did.
really did, yeah. You couldn't, I mean, you could, but it was pretty like you had to listen to, you had to guess who actually was the serial killer, and you had to listen to everyone else's clues, and it was a lot. So it was cool though.
Yeah,
They did a good job. I think it was a good job. It was a lot though, I will tell you that. And honestly, there were times I was like, what?
I know.
What'd they say? So it was a lot to follow, and there was no notebook to write down.
Yeah, that would have been a good thing to have as a notebook.
Yeah, or even like they put a sticky
details.
in the bottom and they're like, here, just write on the sticky because we reuse these books. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you could take the sticky off and throw it away.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's plenty of things they could do. But we did serial killers. That was the one new thing. And then Red Hot. So that day we decided we did Up with a Twist. We love Up with a Twist. The food is phenomenal. The show is amazing. It's just great. Well, unbeknownst to us, and luckily for us, Sir Richie and Miss Joan were there to watch Up with a Twist. And I looked at Kelly and I was like, we're going to get the best show of our lives. It's going to be amazing. And sure enough, that shit was on fire.
It was a great show.
It was lit because she banged. Actually, she banged. So there's, if you ever see the show, and this girl probably is going to hate me from now on, but I don't really give a crap because I tell it like it is. Anyway, the girl that does She Bangs, like she kind of just bangs every now and then. Like she's kind of like, let me just, hit my hip here. Nope. This time, and when I watch it, that song in itself from a dancer, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd be so out of breath and sweating by the end of that song because it has so many great hits, and the number was made that way. Like it was, whoever choreographed it did a perfect job. But she just kind of just goes through she's like 1-800 She Bangs. She phones it in. She's like, oh well, here I am, just gonna do this move. Literally every time I've seen it. So put in Sir Richie, and we're now seeing She Bangin'. Like it was actually really, really good. So that was amazing. The whole show was great. And then he didn't say anything after that show at all. He didn't get up and say anything. Well, right after that, we all ran to Red Hot. So now this was our first time seeing it. So the premiere on the MerMaiden, Miami MerMaiden, the true premiere, in my opinion, because the other one was for trade. So the true premiere we went to with Sir Richie. And funny, I don't think this woman watches my podcast, so I don't feel bad calling her out. But there was a lady that sat right in front of me, and she literally was like, so everyone kept running up to take a selfie with Richard. And he's just sitting there with his wife and his assistant, and Nathan was behind him. Nathan, his handler. And so Nathan was behind him. And so people are just running up, taking pictures of this poor guy. I do feel bad. That's not something I ever do. I do not ever run up to him. If you've ever seen a picture of me with him or seen a video of me, it's because it was orchestrated that way, not because I've run up and snapped a picture and accosted him. That's so not me. So because I just feel like he was there really on vacation or to enjoy it. But anyway, so people are just coming up. And finally they get security to kind of stand around him, and they're like, no more. Well, this woman turns to me and she turns around and she goes, I don't know why she asked me. Apparently it looks information across my face. I don't know if maybe I was just talking away, freaking knows. She turns around, she's like, hey, who is that guy? And I was like, the man that owns this joint. And she goes, and she was not much younger than us. Mm-mm. She's like, oh, can you type his name in my phone? So she hands me her phone. I go, okay. So I start typing his name in. Sure enough, of course, he's the first one that pops. I hit it and I was like, here. So she starts reading it. She probably just thumbs through two things. She jumps up and runs over and takes her own selfie with him. And she goes and sits back down. And Kelly says, because Kelly watched her do it, what'd she do, Kelly?
She literally sent that picture and a screenshot of Wikipedia or whatever came up when Sam put the name in. Sent it to everyone in her contacts. I couldn't see what she was writing. I don't know what she said. I just saw the picture of her and the screenshot of the Wikipedia. So literally she just kept finding someone else in her phone to send it to. And I'm like, this woman didn't know who he was 3 minutes ago. I know, and now so funny. She's sending it to everyone in her contacts. Oh my gosh, some with Richard Branson.
It was too funny. She was a hoot, man. So yeah, then she was known as, so that meme that goes around, by the way, that says, give us 3 seconds and you're going to be labeled with a name because we won't know your name. That's Kelly and I and all of my girlfriends. So she was known as the lady who didn't know Richard Branson.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we would say, oh, did you see the lady that was a lady that didn't know Richard Branson? Like literally, if that stuff happens to us, like we're not going around sitting around saying that to people that walk by, but like if something happens to us and we don't know your name, you will be labeled 100% with whatever happened to us so we can recall what the heck it was. Anyways, so we see Red Hot. Red Hot starts. It starts with the video of all of us on the MerMaiden sailing in. Not MerMaiden, I'm so sorry. Friends and family sailing in with Don't Stop Me Now, which was cool to watch with everyone. And it was, so again, this vibe was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It was electric. It was exciting. The vibe to be in that space when he saw it again was just really exciting. And knowing it was about him was really, really cool to be able to see that with him. So they start Red Hot and my jaw was on the ground. It was phenomenal. I don't think, like, I was literally poo-pooing that thing. Like, I was like, who the frick came up with this? I was like, this is the stupidest show on the planet. And I was eating my words completely. It was so freaking good. They did an excellent job. So they start out with Richard obviously being born, Sir Richie being born, and then they literally go from there. I mean, they don't do much of his childhood, but they did talk about it and about him being in school and that kind of thing. But in the midst of all of that, there are songs from Virgin Records. And whilst they're talking about those songs, they're sometimes explaining when and how the singers were signed. So you were learning about how like Janet Jackson got signed, and you're learning about how the Spice Girls and that kind of thing. It was really, really cool. Like they did a phenomenal job, and it went through all of the brands, all of the entities of Virgin, all of the failed ones as well, all of the things that has happened to him, and all of the wacky things that he's done, which is amazing. It just was phenomenal.
And the cast is phenomenal too.
Yeah.
I mean, the vocals, the dancing, all of it.
Yeah.
The Virgin has a great entertainment crew.
I agree. And this cast was on point, man. They were so good. But again, they're definitely not, I mean, the man
He was in the front row.
He's in the front row. They're not phoning that one in either.
Right.
It's full out and to the nth degree. So when it's done, they handed him a mic. And he went on stage and gave them a big hug and everything, and then made a speech. And the speech was really, really nice. He was like, thank you so much for telling my story. You know, it was so great of you. He's like, you know, I didn't get any creative, what did he say? I didn't get any creative input. He said, and if I had, I would have 100% cut out a few things, which I think we kind of know what those are. So we won't, in the interest of not giving away too much, it was really, really good. And it was really cool to see it with him. I will say that was probably one of the coolest things. So
it was so great. We saw it twice.
We did see it twice.
We had to go back and see it again. Because I think the first time we were literally like one row behind him. So for me, I was kind of like keeping an eye on him watching it. I don't know if you were doing the same.
I didn't, because I was so amazed by the show.
I just kept looking at him and like getting his reaction. And so I wanted to see it again because I think that
you watched him
without him being. Yeah. I mean, he was literally like a row in front of us. So,
yeah, he was only like 5 seats over.
Yeah, so I wanted to see it again for that reason, and it was phenomenal the second time too. It wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was cool to see.
Yeah, actually loved it.
Yeah, I actually left out a really cool part. I can't believe I totally forgot about this. While we were sitting at Up with a Twist, he was over there, and he got up and came over. This is the only interaction that I think we had with him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the only interaction. So he got up and came over, and he was like, I don't know if he said my name. I got to be honest. It was literally the quickest interaction I've ever had with him. I don't even remember, honest to God, what happened. And it was so quick that Nathan couldn't film it. Margot couldn't film it. And I certainly couldn't film it. So nobody got any of the video of this actually happening. But Kelly can vouch for the fact that it actually happened. She's my witness. Can I get a what?
I didn't even know what happened until I look over and I saw him standing there. I was like, because I don't know what I was doing.
We had all just sat down and we were kind of like getting situated and, you know, doing all those things. And he walks over and he was like, I don't know if he said my name, but I feel like he did. He was like, Samantha, he said, thank you so much for all you do for the brand. I can't thank you enough. You're wonderful or whatever. He said something like that. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And he took my hand and I went to shake his hand, but he took it and he actually kissed my hand. And I was like, oh my God, you're going to make me cry. And he's like, no, thank you. He goes, no, thank you. And then off he went. And I was like, what the heck just happened? Richard Branson just came over and like totally thanked me. I was like, that was the sweetest thing on the planet. And I didn't even know what to do with myself. And I got none of it on video. Not that it, I mean, some things don't need to be always on video, but
it'll live in your mind.
It'll live in my
and in your heart forever.
But here's the thing, I still don't know what he said, but because I think I was so like
I have no idea what he said.
I don't either, because he was right here and he speaks softly. He's a very soft speaker, but honestly, I have to say, I feel like all of the Brits are soft speakers, because Wendy is too, and so does Marcus. And I'm always like, did I lose my hearing? Why can I never hear them? Anyways, they're not as loud as me. So anyway, I wish I could have filmed it, only because I wish I could know what he said. I mean, I know he said those things, that sort of thing. Like, he thanked me for helping with the brand and selling as much as I do. And thank you for all the things I've done for him. But I was literally like, it's kind of crazy. That was kind of cool. So thank you, Sir Richie. If you ever watch this, I can't thank you enough. That was the sweetest thing ever. So totally forgot about that. I don't know how I did. But so after Red Hot, I don't even know what we did. We don't. Who knows? But the next day was St. Martin.
St. Martin.
And St. Martin, we have a little PTSD because if you remember correctly, we almost didn't make it back to the ship. So we were having a little issue. Also, I had gotten my hair cut on the ship, which, by the way, she's phenomenal. Her name's Rebecca. Totally get your hair cut and dyed.
She did mine too.
Shade Kellers. Yep, I forgot. She's got a new do. Not that you didn't notice. I'm sure you did. So I had all these little wispy bangs and I was like, oh my gosh. And I had forgotten a hat, but I knew that on the sailboat, I couldn't wear a hat. That thing was never staying on. So I was like, shoot, what could I have? And I was like, I'm going to do-rag it. I'm going to get a pirate do-rag. And so I said to Kelly, I'm going to get off early. I'm going to go shopping in the little shopping center right there and run back on and meet you guys and then get on the excursion. So sure enough, I did. And I bought this thing. And honestly, apparently, according to Kelly, I bought a sarong.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah, something you would cover a bathing suit with. Like
yeah, she goes, I think it's a little tiny skirt. And I go, oh my God, I think you're right. But I just saw that it was that kind of material. And it was actually a lighter material than like a silk that some people normally buy for a do-rag or, I don't know, babushka, what do you want to call them? And so, but I was like, oh, I like this one. It's a little breathable. It's a little bit better. So and Kelly was right. That's exactly what it was. But guess what? Hey, it's multi-purpose. At this point, it did work. So anyways, I get the do-rag, come back on, line up, we go, and we were so excited because this shore thing we wanted to do the time that it got canceled and we almost didn't make the ship. We were almost those people. So it was the what? Because I never get the name right.
America's Cup Yacht Sailing Experience.
Woohoo! See, it's a little wordy.
I think. Yacht and experience might be interchangeable there.
I guess we could have looked it up. But anyways, so we did that. I was so excited. I do have war wounds from it. There's 2 really nice bruises that haven't gone away. It's been over a week now, I think. Yeah, over a week. Because I was what the hell was I? I was a primary grinder. Primary grinder, I think was so we get on this tender, and the tender brings you to the boats. Now there's 2 boats. There's America and there's a Canadian one. And then before you get on there, they say, okay, we got to put you into teams. Well, we were already 4 of us in our, there's 4 of us in our group. So she was like, who has the most? We're like, we're 4. She's like, all right, come over here. And so, oh my gosh, I should tell the other part. I should go back and tell how the legend ended up with us. But the legend ended up with us, by the way, because the legend was on a different one. But she ended up with us because Matthew was like, oh, no, we can't send the legend by herself. He's now learning that the legend also needs a handler. And so the legend could not go by herself on this excursion. She needed to be with us. So she got moved to our excursion, which was nice. So anyways, 4 of us went and got in a group. And then they asked the team captains, what boat do you want? And so our team captain said, it's fine if they want the America one, we'll take the Canadian one. Well, the Canadian one had just won the race. So they do 2 sets of it. And so the Canadian one had just won the race. And I was like, perfect, we're going to win. Now, here, let me tell you something. I don't like to lose in any way, shape, or form. Nobody likes to lose, but I really don't like to lose. Like, I really am super uber competitive. So I literally looked at my team and I was like, listen to me very carefully. If we don't win, I'm throwing every single one of you overboard because you all will suck at that point. So that's how I felt. And I made sure everybody knew that. No, I'm totally kidding. I didn't say that, but that's exactly how I felt. I'm going to be honest. So when they were giving everybody jobs, I literally was like, lady, listen, you better give out the right jobs. Don't be just assessing people by what they're wearing. Like, you ask them what their skill set is, because I need to win this race. And so she goes around, she's like, Kelly, what do you want to do? And Kelly was like, I don't really know. And so how did you end up with the wench operator?
Well, Margot said that's what she wanted to do because
she sailed before.
Yeah, her grandfather had a sailboat, so she knew the job and she knew, what to do.
Yeah.
So they gave that to her, and then I guess just automatically because we were standing next to each other, they gave me the other one. I don't know.
I think so, yeah, because you were there, and they were just like, oh, you guys are friends.
Yeah.
So Kelly ended up as the wench operator, which, by the way, I know it's not that. I've just decided to call that because it's perfect.
Perfect.
And I had said, I want to work really hard. Like, I want to be put to work. I'm excited for this. I want to be put to work. So they're like, fine, you're a primary grinder. I was like, awesome. I don't know what that is, but hopefully I'm going to be able to do it. So what it was, if you've never sailed before, true to this excursion, like, do not book this excursion if you plan on chilling like a villain, laying out and enjoying the sun and the tilt of the boat. That is not what you're doing on this excursion.
Unless you're Aunt Laura.
Unless you're Aunt Laura, which, I got to be honest, they could not have
They gave her the perfect job.
They could not have picked a perfect job, more perfect job for Aunt Laura. She was, can anybody guess it? We'll give you a few seconds. What could she possibly be? Kelly already took the wench position. She was the what, Kelly?
Bartender.
At the bartender. So yeah, she was the bartender, which is freaking hilarious. So, and it was perfection. So anyways, everybody has a job. So again, like I said, do not book this excursion if you plan on sunbathing. It's not what you're doing at all. And the poor guy in the middle, he was the primary grinder. There's more names to it. He had this freaking thing. He looked like he was a witch, just cauldron it up. But he had to do it super fast. And the poor guy, I felt bad for him. He was like by himself. So the grinders actually do this. And there's another person on it. There's 4 of us. We're on either side. Now, I have no idea who this person is in front of me. But we are literally nose to nose, face to face. And I was like, this is awkward. I've never met this person in my life. We probably should have shook hands before we kissed each other. I mean, I don't know. And like had sweat and spit and whatever exchanged. We probably should be like, hey guy, I'm Samantha. What's your name? Guess whose name it is? He's Fritz. This is how we met Fritz. So Fritz was my partner. So I will tell you that you are very close with the people that you are grinding with. So the other side was a married couple, which worked out well for them. But Fritz and I were newbies and did not know each other. And here we are now, getting close and having a good old time. So when the ship lurched, so you would have, this is what you do. Actually, I'll go back and say, and I shouldn't say lurch. That's not what it's called. When you're going like this, you're changing the gears so that it's I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know what the heck it's changing. I know it's gears, but I don't know what the gears are for. So I'm assuming it's for the sails and I don't know. So we did that. But I mean, you are grinding for days. I mean, it went on forever. I was like out of breath at one point. Then you have to go back to go the other way. Then you go back the other way. Like, it was crazy. And it was a lot of fun. I will say to you, it was a super lot of fun.